Would you recommend the hike from Ferry to Ia? Lady. I'm kidding.
Stop.
Okay.
Just say that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And it has a really cool like boho chic aesthetic as well, where it has lots of. It's just like, what is this? Wait for me to buy time for her. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite travel podcast of all time, soon to be. Only on episode 2, but we're starting strong with your host, of course, Wanderlust Woman, Noah, and
Wanderlust Woman.
We're all about equality in this modern day and age, but that's okay. So let's just jump right into it, guys. If you haven't had a chance to tune into the previous episode, we're going to continue on from our journey throughout the Cyclades, or that is the islands off the coast of Athens. We cover the first 5 days or so in our 10-day trip, which were on the island of Santorini in Milos. So now we are technically on day 5, leaving the island of Milos, heading to... Alright. One answer wrong on the quiz so far. Do you know?
It's not a quiz.
Do you know what island?
I'm going to quiz you this episode.
Okay, that's fine. I did my homework, guys. I studied.
What ferry transportation did we take? What company?
CJet.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I said that with confidence. No, but we went to Paros, of course. Took the ferry to Paros from Milos. And yeah.
Tell me about it.
About the ferry?
What did we do?
We just took a ferry.
Oh, which ferry was it?
It doesn't really matter, does it?
No, like, jog my memory on, was it a good ferry ride or a bad one?
No, it was a good ferry ride. I remember now. It was, yeah, we brought that pizza bread with us. So we had that to snack on. I think it was about 3 or 4 hours. So it wasn't too long. And it was pretty smooth.
We had a lot of snacks with us, didn't we?
Yeah, we made a lot.
I remember we sat on it was like kind of like an airplane.
Yeah, airplane seating, like rows, and there's like a TV in the cabin.
No tables.
Yeah, so we did that, arrived at Paros, and what were your first impressions of Paros?
First impressions.
Mm-hmm. Mine were, it had a windmill right in the middle of the center, and it was a lot more flat than Milos.
It was a lot more flat.
In the town, at least.
It was busier, too.
Yeah, it was busier. It was more busier than Milos. And we were staying in the town of Kouros, so that's like the main hub, I guess. But we only had limited time in Paros, of course. We only spent 1 night there.
Yeah.
So we had a lot to see and do, as we experienced by running around a lot.
Yeah, I think at this point, it was kind of like we had so many things that we wanted to do, but our time was limited, so we're like, okay, what can we realistically jam-pack?
Yeah,
without being like overwhelmed or...
And still having time to actually like enjoy the place.
Enjoy it, not just like, oh, here I am, okay, let me leave now and go to the next place.
Yeah. So, yeah, we wanted to go, which is one of the most like picturesque and probably photographed parts of the island, which is a town Naousa, which is actually... How far was the bus ride? Like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
30?
I think it was like 20 and 25.
20 hot, smelly minutes. There was no AC on that bus, remember?
Yeah, it was really freaking hot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it smelled too. But there's these kids on the bus.
Local Greek kids, yeah.
And they were like...
Talking in Greek really loudly.
Yeah, but it was obvious that they were like making fun of all the tourists.
Yeah, us and others, of course.
Yeah.
They were like, blah, 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 blah. Hello, can you help me? Where can I find blah, 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 blah? I'm laughing. So they were clearly talking smack.
Yeah, it's just, I get it, but
yeah,
it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But the town itself was really pretty.
Yeah.
And there was like, I was kind of surprised because there's so many restaurants, and then there's like all the seating was outdoor. So when you're walking through it, you're like going through restaurant seating.
Pretty much. If you're not careful, you could like fall into the water, you know, because you're kind of walking really close to the edge. Or you're gonna be like bumping elbows with people actually like dining outside by the water.
Yeah.
But it's still really cool and atmospheric.
It was very pretty though.
Gorgeous.
Like it was. Like people say like on TikTok and crap, like, yeah, this is the prettiest little town in like the Cyclades Islands.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to say which ones are
I
our
know.
favorite. We'll have to do a recap talking about like our favorite towns and natural beauty and like, spoiler alert, we'll go through all the islands probably at the end of all this travel series, talking about which islands are right for whoever and which one's the most pretty. But yeah, Naousa was definitely stunning, and I think a lot of those restaurants are really expensive. And that prime area right by the water. And they're the pink building, which is also like a really big Instagram TikTok place because
I wanted a photo there, but I was not going to wait.
it wasn't that long of a line. We just were on limited time.
I know.
It was like one couple in front of us.
I did go to use the public restroom there.
And it's like right outside like the sea, like the waves like crashing in.
Seriously, there's like a freaking mist that's hitting you in the bathroom.
Right.
It was an experience.
Yeah, we were there at high tide, I think, because they actually have like another one of those Venetian castles, like jetting out from that pier from like the little town.
Oh yeah.
And that's like a really good vantage point where you get a really good view of Naousa. But the water was so high, it was crashing into the pier, so it would have been impossible to go, unfortunately. But
this is like the place too where you would like want to dress nice.
Yeah, it's definitely,
because everyone there was like dressing a little more elevated than the other islands.
Yeah, just a little bit classier.
Yeah.
Finer quality, finer dining, and then we saw that more when we checked out like some of the back streets too, because we took a way back to the bus station, and it was just didn't even mean to, but we stumbled upon like that gorgeous little like maze of white alleys and beautiful flowers hanging and like little cafes. I don't know the exact area of Naousa that is, but it's just that typical like Greek island sort of feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really pretty.
We took some pictures there.
I did want to stay longer, but we just didn't have time.
Yeah, we only had an hour in this area before we had to take like the last bus back because we wanted to get dinner back in Kouros, which is where we're staying, and get a sunset there. So, tell us about our dining experience. Or you can ask me, I guess. I'll put it all on you.
Well, we went to this restaurant. It was like right on the water. I don't remember the name.
All the locations, restaurant names, things we did will all be in like the description or show notes, so you guys can actually specifically see and like recreate this itinerary and pick and choose things if you want. So,
perfect.
And also it makes it easier for us to not memorize everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to that restaurant.
Yeah. It was really pretty because it was right on the water, and there's like they blocked off the street, so there weren't like cars passing back and forth. It was just like a pedestrian walkway, but I did have my first encounter with like a
beggar.
Is it a beggar?
Yeah. Panhandler or something like that too.
I don't even want like we would say like homeless, but I don't think she was homeless.
No, it's just a beggar.
It was just it was a beggar, and it was I've never experienced anything like that before, and it like I don't know like what emotions I was feeling because I definitely felt like manipulated,
guilt,
but I also felt so guilty and like.
Selfish.
I don't know. It was so weird. So this little girl came up, and she was like, "Oh, like, what did she even say? Like,
she just put her hands out and she said, "Please."
Yeah, she was like, "Please."
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "Oh, like I didn't have like any. I had like a couple coins."
Well, to be honest, we had very limited like euro coins, and this is where the guilt was coming in. Because you're trying to save them a little bit because they're really handy to use for the buses and stuff. Like a lot of the buses, they take coins. Sometimes you can pay with credit cards, sometimes you can't. Yeah. As we experienced.
Yeah.
Coming
and like,
soon. But
if you're not on a super touristy like area or in a super touristy area, it's kind of hard to find like somewhere you can exchange.
Yeah, exchange places. Definitely.
Yeah, especially if it's like in the afternoon, like after 5 p.m.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was kind of like, and then she's like, "Please," and then she just kept saying "please," and then she grabbed my shoulder. And she's like, "Please." Yeah. And I was like, because like no one has ever like touched me before, so then I was just like, no, like, and then she left our table. She went to another table to go like ask them, and I don't know. I was telling Noah like I don't understand what it is about us, but like whenever someone comes up to us and we're like, "Oh, like, no thank you," or something like they're trying to give us or sell us something, we're like, "No thank you." They just are so persistent and like. But I see them with other people, and like, the first time they say no, they just leave, and I'm like, I don't understand.
They smell weakness.
Yeah, probably.
Because we're like, I'm so sorry, no, thank you. Oh, but I'm so, and then we're smiling, so they can tell that there's like a chance. For other people, they're just like, no, they'll give them the time of day, which because they're more conditioned to it.
Well,
so,
anyway,
that was a little traumatizing.
I ended up giving that girl
a euro.
And
she said thank you.
She did it.
Yeah, she did.
She did?
Yeah, she said thank you.
I didn't hear her, so this whole time I've been thinking that she
I handed
took
it to
it
her.
and walked away.
Well, you handed it to me and I handed it to her. So that's how it worked out.
Saying thank you.
She did. She said thank you.
And then she just walked away and then went to the next person. But
so we learned our lesson.
It was so...
How to be stern and not because you don't want to dehumanize people and like the process of telling them no. Where some people will be like act like they're like literal vermin, and like that's really not cool. But like
it's just like a little girl. Like,
yeah,
she was like 8, and then I have a niece that's 8, and so I like think back to like.
That's how she got you.
I know.
She got you.
I mean, it's a girl. It's not even anything, but like.
Yeah, I know, but anyway.
Yeah, but I was
it's tough. You want to help people, but you can't give. If we gave every money to every time we had like someone begging or asking for something, it'd be like really hard to maintain that. So. We're just privileged travelers, but broke privileged travelers. So, anyway,
the food.
Yeah, the food was good. We had a mixture of lots of Greek stuff, including if you guys watched our last series or last episode on this, you know one of our favorite things is grape leaves, which is dolma. I think we got that again.
Yeah, I think we got moussaka.
We got moussaka, which they had a vegan version, which is like an eggplant sort of casserole with some yummy stuff, some bechamel sauce. That was good, but we like the previous one that we had in Santorini more at this rate. We also had the eggplant dip too, which is called like aubergine dip, I think it's called. And I thought it was going to be like, what the heck do you call it? The other dip. It's not hummus, but...
The fava dip?
No, come on. Baba ganoush. I thought it was going to be like baba ganoush,
yeah.
which I love. It's like a eggplant made from, or it's like a hummus paste made from eggplant, similar to hummus. It was not like that at all. It was just like really, like, I don't know. It's just like eggplant. It feels like just mashed up a little bit and like served to you without like a whole lot else going on.
Funny aftertaste.
Like a little bit sour and like acidic.
Yeah.
Very acidic.
Yeah.
So that wasn't our favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody, if that's your favorite Greek dish. My
also,
bad.
we didn't even have like we ordered a
bread.
side of bread,
Yeah.
but it wasn't nearly enough to like eat it together. So then we had to have some of it plain, which was just like not the best.
Sure. And I would have had like a beer to wash it all down, but again, if you guys saw the previous episode, I don't know, I'm referencing this a lot, but it really does help to get some context. I got in a motorbike accident, was on an antibiotic, I couldn't drink any alcohol because that would have screwed everything up. So hey, it is what it is. But after that, or during the meal, one of the best things was, of course, we were getting a really nice view because it was right by the water, so we could see the sun starting to go down the horizon.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And then we had the ultimate sunset spot literally like steps away, which was it was like a Venetian castle and church.
Yeah.
Up this little hill right above the port town area, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice
It
sunset.
was very easy. Well, it took us a little bit because somebody could do one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. Couldn't bend the knee.
Yeah.
So hey.
But still, it was really pretty, and it wasn't crowded.
That was pretty chill.
Yeah. So if you wanted, you could just like sit there the entire time, and you'd be fine.
Yeah. But I was using my camera a lot, and there was some like I think drunk like locals.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to be out too late past night or like wander around and explore the area away from the crowds just in case.
Yeah.
Because I can't really run. I couldn't run away. So Vanessa would have left me to fend for myself.
Ugh.
So anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the end of our first date in Paros.
Yeah.
Eventful, but definitely fun and really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But how did our next day start, Vanessa?
Our next day. Why did you say it like that?
Because I was choking a little
Oh.
or swallowing. And...
Our next day, we had breakfast in our hotel room.
Yeah.
Because our, what is it? The hotel lady left us like, they were just accidentally vegan. These, like croissant filled.
Yeah, the croissants filled with like jam.
Jam, yeah. And then she gave us juice boxes.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Those are really good.
And it's never too young to just have a little sip on a Capri Sun or juice box like you're having your school lunch.
Right.
But that was really nice. And it had an espresso machine.
Oh, yeah.
So I love when hotels in Greece have that. Because it's like you can have a free little breakfast, honestly. In your hotel, a lot of places have a balcony, which we did. So it's like a super nice way to just chill out and enjoy your day.
Yeah.
But we had to get going. We only had our one night in Paros. So yeah. We checked out and we wanted to explore just a tiny bit of like the Kora or the town. And we saw that Byzantine church, which was like an old church that's made of that like really beautiful stone design, where it's more like, it looks like I don't know, like a really flat cylinder kind of shape. Where some churches are like boxy. Yeah. This one, it looks like a big jar. I don't know. That's how, like in my mind when I think about it, that's how it looks.
A jar.
Like a wide jar, and there's like a domed top on it. I don't know. It's really.
Okay. Sure.
It's an out there comparison, but that's what it felt like to me. And then one of the prettiest areas of the actual Kora is the Old Town, which is very similar to Naousa, where they have those beautiful, like white, mazy, tiny alleys where you try and look at them look them up on Google Maps, and it doesn't really make sense. Lots of
Yeah,
cafes.
it was like, just pick a, what is it?
Yeah, pick an alley and get
Yeah.
lost, and lots of cute shops, cafes, restaurants, bars.
I do wish we would have had a little longer to like explore the shops.
Yeah.
Because I felt like we were just like getting from one destination to the other, and then we would see beautiful sights on the way. So it would have been nice to actually like look into the shops and be like, oh, this is this and this is that. And
Yeah, I agree. But it was okay. We weren't even planning on staying in Paros originally, to be honest. We just stayed there because it was a good place to go between Milos and Naxos. Which,
yeah, and
spoiler
like cut
alert.
it in time. Or,
No, yeah.
sorry.
Go. You're fine.
I would say just cut the trip. It
And
made the trip shorter.
I don't know. I need to shut up. It's my channel. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're right.
Go!
Yeah, we want to shorten the trip, and also the ferry times can be a little bit. You don't have as much options as you'd want. So sometimes like a ferry will leave early in the morning or late at night, and we want to take the cheaper ones that weren't the fast ferries. So it worked out best logistically to go to Paros, just crash there for a night, and then head the next day to Naxos, which we were super excited to visit for a multitude of reasons, which was only about like an hour or less than an hour ferry ride from Paros.
Yeah, it was really close.
Really close, which is good because it's kind of a little topsy-turvy, this ferry. I remember I was moving around a little bit.
Yeah. Is this the one where I like felt really sick?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, so I was glad that, because we originally were going to take, this was actually a fast ferry. They changed our itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
So we originally were going to take a slow ferry, and it's going to take longer, but they changed it and
This is the
just
CJ
to
that
a
we
fast
took.
ferry.
This is the big one where it's like a literal mall on board, where it's
Yeah.
like a bunch of floors, a bunch of stores, and you can go to like a bunch of restaurants.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It was cool, but it was so, like, just walking, you're like,
In some areas, but that's a really big ferry,
That's
so
what I
normally
thought.
it's not like that.
so I was like, nah, I'm going to sit my butt here and wait for this hour to pass.
Yeah. So anyway, then we arrived at Naxos, which, do you have anything to share about Naxos? Like first impressions or features?
You start.
Okay, I'll start. So Naxos is actually like the biggest of the Greek Cyclades islands, I think. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, and it's very mountainous. It's called, I think, I'm going to be confused with other places. But because of that, it's a little bit more green in the mountainous areas because the mountains trap like the clouds that pass through. Whereas most of the Greek islands are very dry and they almost feel like you're going to like the desert or like the moon or something. If you're going to Milos, that is, especially. But so it's very big, it's very mountainous, and it's really famous for its beaches that have really pretty, long, white, sandy beaches which you can visit. So we were really excited to spend 2 nights in Naxos, two whole nights. And then we arrived. We had a 15-minute walk because we were staying just a little bit outside of the main Kora, or town, that is.
Yeah.
And we eventually got to our place, which you have something to add?
It's so crazy because, like, when we booked our places, we were like, oh, this is so close to the
Yeah.
port on the map. And we were like, oh, yeah, it'll just be a few minutes. Every single place, we're like, crap, this is a lot farther than we thought. It's not a lot
Except for
farther.
Naxos. Naxos was the only one where it felt far. Although other ones were less than 10 minutes. Yes.
The one in Milos felt far.
It was 7 minutes, 8 minutes walking.
Okay, well, it felt far. I think because you're on the same street the entire time.
Yeah.
So it just felt longer than what it was.
But this one was almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, this one did feel, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, when are we gonna get there? Are we even in the same little like area?
Yeah. It was definitely a little bit outside the town.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
I really liked it. I think this might have been one of my favorite places that we stayed.
Yeah. So far for accommodation, it's between this place in Naxos and the place in Santorini.
Yeah.
Anyway, the place we're staying at, which you might be dying to know, was a Blue Summer Sky Hotel, which was actually really close to the small, beautiful beach called Agios, Georgios or Gorgios. My Greek is not the best, anybody, but so you can look it up on the map if you really want to know. But really nice host. She greeted us with like some sort of
It's
like
a peach juice.
peach juice, yeah, something like that.
I didn't like peaches, and it was so good.
And like some little biscuits, which
Yeah,
are really
homemade.
Really
biscuits.
homemade?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what she said.
So that was wonderful and delicious.
Yeah. She was very, very nice.
Yeah.
So when we first got off the boat, I was like, oh crap. I don't, like, every place is like, when you look on paper, like, they all sound similar, but they all look so different.
What do you mean?
Like, they all have the white buildings with, like, the flowers and the businesses and everything, but when you actually are there, they look so different.
Like the towns look different?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So this was just like another place where I was like, oh, it's similar, but its own place.
Yeah, and you'll start to, what's going on? Hopefully you guys can't tell there's a tropical monsoon coming in our town. Not quite, but it's getting pretty stormy. So, anyway, yeah, it definitely had its unique feel, which we would soon figure out and explore, because what did we do with the rest of the day in Naxos? So we started at... No.
Didn't we take the bus?
Well, first we got lunch in the town after we checked in.
Yes.
A really nice place, and if you're on a budget, definitely
It's
the place to
very
go.
affordable.
So yeah, the place we went to was called Yasouvlaki. Actually, remember this name because the type of food is in the name, which is souvlaki, which essentially is like a gyro. There's a difference in how the meat, or for us, like falafel, is prepared as the main difference. But it's like Greek fast food. All the locals eat it all the time, and it's very cheap and affordable and filling and tasty. What was your take on Yasouvlaki?
This was, all I remember is that there were fries in the souvlaki.
Yeah.
And it was so good. I love potatoes.
Yeah, but
I love fries. So when you put fries in something, I'm happy.
Yeah, and they had like some sort of like veggie vegan patty in there with a bunch of vegetables and like some sort of vegan mayo or tzatziki. Really nice, and it was like €3 for like
yeah, it's crazy.
Not tiny but not big sandwich. So if you have two, you'll be like stuffed for €6.
I don't even think I could finish two.
Yeah, so that was really nice, and it was right by the water too, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the water, so one of our main things we wanted to do was check out some beautiful beaches in Naxos, so we're going to do that this day. And I knew there's a really pretty beach, which was called Agios Prokopios, which we took a bus to. Had a little bit of a struggle trying to get to that beach because we had to take like a bus, and then we didn't have any money to buy the bus ticket because you gave it to that little girl and I told you not to. No, okay. But we had to walk all the way back to the bus terminal and pay with a credit card because we couldn't find a place to exchange currency or a bank because my ATM card wasn't working in Greece. It was kind of not a travel nightmare, but one of those days where things don't go as planned.
Yeah.
And you get really frustrated, but you just have to make the best of it.
Right. And like we couldn't like, because our time was limited, we couldn't waste time. Like we had to like
hustle.
Yeah.
Figure things out on the fly.
Yeah. Which like looking back, I honestly like don't have any memories of feeling like this. Mm-hmm. But like I do now that you brought it up. I can remember that we were feeling really flustered. Yeah.
It all worked out though. And we eventually got to this beach, which was popping. There was nobody there.
Yeah. No, it's like we have to go to the beach, and it's gonna be really far down. It's gonna be one of like I don't know, super far down the street. Uh-huh. And he was like, and at that place, they have free beds, and then you can just order a drink and blah blah blah. Like, and I was looking, and I was like, no, all of these say like free beds with a drink order. Like, do we have to go all the way down?
And I'm like, no, let's not.
And they were like the ones that were just like little like plastic
beach lounging
chairs, where these other ones that we were seeing were literally the same, were like beds and like the super squishy padded ones. And I was like,
well, just a little bit of like a note. We were there a little bit before the high tourist season, and it was kind of cold this time of year, more cold than usual. So the beaches, no one really wanted to go on the beach and swim. Yeah. And there's no tourists there, so because of that, they were very like I don't know, more than happy just to have people come in and get a drink and not charge like extortionate prices for like a beach lounging chair, which I heard can be like €40 for a day for two people or something. Dang. Which if you're there for the whole day, it's probably okay, but I don't know.
It's like what, $20 per person?
Personally, I'd just bring a beach towel if that's what was going on. But
then I don't think that's even
$20 a person, not including drinks though. It's like to rent a bed for a day.
But it's a whole day.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that the investment could make sense, but we're cheaper than that usually when we travel. So anyway, but regardless, it was like a ghost town. We didn't even ask. We just went to like a beach chair and laid down, and no one came out. Yeah. But there was a few other tourists doing the same thing. And then it was actually really cold. So Vanessa was like huddled up with a blanket.
I had my beach towel, and I was like, but it was very windy where we were for some reason.
But the water was really pretty.
Yeah. And we didn't even go at like peak time. It was already like
5
in the evening.
Yeah, it was like 5 or I think it was about 4 or 5. And sunset was about 8.
We were there for that long?
Well, we were there for a long time.
Jeez.
Maybe 5 or 6. We were there for at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sand, like, it was super long. I, like, walked up and down the beach and it took me a long time. And the water was really calm. It was really good swimming beach, you could tell. Because there's kind of a little bit of a cove. So like the waves weren't crazy, so really good for swimming. And there's beautiful views of some of the other islands. You could see Paros right nearby. You could see like some of the hills and mountains in Naxos and little towns. So I really like that beach. I would go back again for sure.
Yeah.
If it was more swimming weather.
Yeah.
But after you froze to death.
I know. Noah came back from his walk and I was like...
And you had to use the bathroom too.
Oh, yeah. So we're like, crap, where can we go to do like...
Just chill out and not freeze.
Yeah.
And then, so it turns out on the other side of the beach, there's like a little street. On the other side of the street, away from the beach, but like steps away, honestly, there was a bunch of like little restaurants and beach clubs. And there's this one that had like the cutest vibe, had some chill music. It had that kind of like boho chic, sort of like, I don't know.
It was like Tulum vibes.
Tulum, Bali, Canggu vibes. Yeah, boho chic, essentially, but like modern and felt like anywhere. Honestly, it just feels like a digital nomad, like influencer, like a co-working cafe kind of feeling. But like a beach bar.
It was not a cafe.
No, not a cafe, but it has that kind of vibe to me, where it's like, look at me living life the way I want to live life.
I don't agree.
Okay, well.
It had like a, more like a, because they like dimmed the lights, and then there were like people there. It's like where you go with someone that you like, and you're like, whispering, like, you know that?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I don't know, it felt very like
intimate,
but like mature. Like I wouldn't like expect like, I don't know, 18-year-olds to be there.
Yeah. It's for the people that like are down to drink but they don't want to party.
Yes. Yeah.
But you're not like super bougie. But also a little bit tasteful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also like a little like, maybe it was just our waitress, and she was just kind of like a, not a hippie vibe, but like a artsy type of vibe.
Yeah, I get you.
I guess it doesn't.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Great vibes. Good music. They're playing like soft house music.
Yeah.
Which I really like because I use those in my YouTube videos. And I feel like I was living through one of my YouTube videos.
They had really good mocktails.
Yes, because obviously I couldn't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
So that was like the best I could do to fit that beach vibe at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we were able to see the sunset from this nice little chair.
Kinda.
I think we were able
We could see it go down, but then it went behind a mountain.
Yeah.
So we couldn't like see it go beneath the horizon, but...
Yeah.
But it was very like, it was just good vibes.
Great vibes, delicious mocktails. A little expensive considering there's no alcohol, but the flavor was amazing. By expensive, I mean like 8 to 10 euros for one drink.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a great ending to what was kind of a little bit of a hectic day.
Yeah.
Really liked that place. And then, we took a bus back to Kouros, and then that was the end of our...
Well, you didn't share our, like, that we were like, crap, is the bus even coming?
Yeah, the buses...
They went on their own time.
A little bit, yeah. They're... Yeah, I know you guys heard that one. Alright, so now we are at day 7. Got to keep things straight so we don't lose track of all the days. For our 10 days in Greece. Day 7, our first full day in Naxos. We had to get a nice, fresh start to the day, fill our bellies with some nice, delicious pancakes and some fruit. And then we also got something savory, which was an omelet. An omelet and some coffees.
Omelet?
Yeah, remember they had a little omelet they made with chickpea flour, and they put a bunch of like vegetables inside of it. It was good, but not the most memorable, according to Vanessa's memory at the moment. it was fine, but we've had some food there that like really blew us away.
It's just, it's hard to, because we're eating out every single day.
Multiple times a day sometimes.
Multiple times a day.
Sometimes, yeah.
For 10 days. Like,
it's a lot of food.
Yeah, and it's a lot of like comparing, and some things just kind of get pushed under the rug.
Sure. So anyway, but it was a nice cafe. It was pretty quiet. Had outdoor, indoor seating. And
people were working on their computers there, so if you are a digital nomad, that would be a good place to go.
And just a little side note, I think if there were to be like one place where it'd be really good to be a digital nomad, Naxos would be a really good shout.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they have like lots of beach towns, lots of beaches, cute towns like in and of themselves, and lots of mountain towns and hikes for you to do. So you can do like a ton of activities there.
Yeah,
and, like,
I feel like you wouldn't get bored.
No, where the other ones, they're really pretty, but you might just like walk around to cafes. Or Milos would be another good one too.
Milos would be.
Anyway, back to what we did. So we got that, and before I was saying there was like 2 main reasons we want to go to Naxos. One was for the beaches, and we want to have that beach day, which we did previously, day 6. But this day was going to be more of an adventurous exploring day, and we had no other way around getting a rental car. So that's what we did. And how was the experience getting a rental car in Greece? Because we're kind of a little bit nervous to do it.
Like the actual process?
Yeah, the process. Just generally.
And just as a tip, get your rental cars ahead of time because every place that we tried getting a hold of, we're out of stock.
Especially for automatic,
Yeah,
which we
for automatic,
can only
yes.
drive because we're American.
They have
pieces
plenty
crap.
of manuals, but yeah, that's useless for us.
Yeah.
And there are a few that, like, we went at a weird time, but there are a few that were not even open. So I don't know if it was just, like, the time of year.
Sure.
Or what, but we ended up just walking into a place, and we're like, hey.
I had good reviews online. 'Cause always look at the reviews online.
Yes,
because some places will be a little dodgy.
Yeah. But we had a really nice lady. And she was like, I have one car.
Her oral hygiene wasn't the nicest. I'm kidding. We don't know the place. I'm not going to put the rental car plate. Well, maybe I will. Lady. I'm kidding. Hey, sometimes I smell too, everybody. So it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Cut this out.
Sorry, lady. If you're watching, thank you so much. You're really sweet. You're just,
Stop.
Okay.
Just say that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we rented a car, a little small, little manual or automatic.
I really wanted those little tiny, like, 2-seater cars.
Yeah, little Fiat sort of things.
Yeah, but no, those are gone.
Yeah, and it was 40 to 50 euros for a day, essentially. You can upgrade the insurance, which we did because I was a little nervous and it's a little bit mountainous.
Yeah.
So like 50 euros for the day. And then, yeah, we had a few things we wanted to try and do while we had the time. Mm-hmm. And the first order of business was actually this small little hike that was relatively easy. Hiking difficulty-wise because, again, I hate to be a dead horse, but my knee was limiting my physical capabilities. So we did this cute little hike from this town called Melanes, which is a really small town. Like, some of the little kids were, like, saying stuff to us when we, like, parked the car and we're, like, trying to find our way to the start of the trail.
I think it's talking crap.
Probably, but hey, fair enough. I don't blame them. And then, yeah, the hike was relatively easy to get started on because I was reading this little blog online because it was kind of a nightmare to find out on the map. And this was giving us all the directions to actually, like, figure things out. And this hike was cool. I left from the town of Melanes. We went through this really overgrown area at first, which is kind of a little crappy. And then eventually we were going by the stream. We're surrounded by this kind of, like, dried out bamboo grove, which was really cool. I didn't expect to see that in Greece.
Yeah.
Because that's more of, like, you associate with, like, Asia, you know?
Right.
But things didn't always go to plan because eventually we took a little bit of a side quest to some farm. And that was a little scary because there was a dog that was barking and starting to run towards us. And we slowly backed away. And then that dog's barking set off like a chain reaction of every animal in the whole neighborhood barking and making noise. And we're like, oh my God, the town's going to try and find us.
Yeah, seriously. Us freaking out.
Vanessa was a little freaked out.
I'm like, honestly, it is like a good dog to like see us and like warn us by barking because he didn't like just see us and like run and attack. That's what I was scared of. But
and it stopped like a good like 100 meters away from us.
Yeah, but after that dog started barking, I felt like they were like the whole freaking town's dogs were barking. Like it was coming from every direction, and I was like, they're getting close. And
the farmers were gonna like use the dogs to, like hunt us down like we're escaped criminals or something.
Because there wasn't like any signs or anything, and honestly, like the vlog that Noah was following, or blog.
Yeah, blog. Yeah.
Their photos were like so outdated, I think, because
maybe
it'd be like, oh, you're gonna turn left here, and it showed a photo, and I'm like, where the crap is that?
Yeah, or they're missing some gaps in like the directions where you have to kind of just like make a guess.
Yeah.
So it's like. And a lot of times we guessed wrong.
Yeah.
Which added some time and a little bit of stress. But eventually we made our way, and this hike took us to another really beautiful town, which is extra small. They didn't look like there's a whole lot going on there.
Yeah.
I'll have the name of it in the description. And then we went through this really pretty like cactus grove. That was really cool. Like immediately after we went through the town. And then that's where like you said, no, there's a dog. Again, there's all those cacti growing.
Oh, yeah. And we saw a donkey.
Yeah, and we saw a little cute donkey, which I want to go up and like pet him, but you know, obviously couldn't do that because he was coming up to us. He was really curious.
Yeah,
he was tied to like a tree. Yeah. But yeah, then the hike took us like through this not ridge, but kind of like edge of like a hill with some really pretty open views of the mountains and the towns.
Yeah. And
then it eventually took us to this quarry, which is a little historical area where it has some really old like wooden statues from like the Naouxian people, like the I don't know, like Greek Roman civilization. So some really like historic statues and stuff. Which if you're interested in that, that's a cool little addition. You can add to the hike, which is really cool about the hike because it has natural beauty. It has like some towns and the culture, and some history, which is like a cool combination if you're interested in like those little pieces along a hike. So, and then eventually,
freaking hot though. No shade.
Yeah, towards the end there was no shade. The beginning was all shade. But yeah, when we were going through the river.
Yeah.
So eventually this was a loop. We ended back at the town of Melanes. And then we were not done yet because we wanted to actually go on and check out the most popular and picturesque mountain town of Chalkio, I think. And that was really cool. I really enjoyed Chalkio a lot.
Yeah. There was a lot of really colorful buildings and
charming, like, it's a really charming mountain town.
But I was very surprised though because there was like almost nobody there. It was like kind of like a ghost town.
Similar. There's other people like taking pictures and there's some other tourists checking out there.
There's that like one group of girls. But there was this guy and he was on the phone and he kept shouting like, what is it, like, Dorisa or whatever it was. So he's probably yelling at us.
Just the locals having
talking crap.
Because a lot of locals are having lunch or smoking cigarettes, drinking some beers.
Getting photos and everything.
Yeah. But before that, we checked out a really pretty church as well, which is like a small walk from the town. It was very similar to the church we checked out in Paros, where it was like the old Byzantine stone design. Mm-hmm. And that was really pretty too. And you had some really nice views of the mountains around you.
I don't know if it's because of your knee, you're walking slow or what, but it felt like it took forever to get there.
It was a longer walk than we thought.
Like, it was like, 7 minutes or whatever, and I was like, it's been at least 20.
Maybe like 14. So, so that was really cool. But of course, we were really hungry from all the hiking and stuff, so we wanted to get some food in Chalkio. Mm-hmm. And that was really fun because we found this really beautiful place and they had this Greek specialty which is called Peinirli, which is like a pizza that's shaped like a little boat. We're kind of like folded in on itself, kind of like a calzone-ish or stromboli. Have you ever tried stromboli?
I've never had stromboli.
Anyway, it's like...
I wouldn't say like, because it would be like a calzone without the top.
Yeah, it's an open like calzone.
Yeah.
If you're cut off the top layer.
Open calzone, I'm sure.
Yeah. But that was really tasty.
Yeah, I remember the bread being so good. Like the crust.
Yeah, the crust was really nice. And they had some like...
we had like potato pancakes.
Potato pancakes. And then we also tried that liqueur that's made in Naxos, which is called Citron or Citron. I tried the tiniest sip. I couldn't resist everybody. I didn't want to mess with the antibiotics, but I wanted to at least know the flavor. So I just took a tiny little sip.
I drank a majority of it, and I'm not a drinker. Like, I don't like the taste of alcohol. And it was like a bright green color. Yeah. So I was nervous. It wasn't bad, but...
It wasn't your favorite.
Yeah.
But it was kind of sweet.
I felt like it was like a shot, like, because it was like in a small glass. And
It was like when we tried limoncello in Italy, how it came in like a little shot thing. But you kind of sip on it throughout the... Yeah. Either before or after the meal.
But it burned.
It burned. Well, it's like a citrus.
Yeah.
It's made from the citron or citron. I'm sorry, guys. I really should know the pronunciation of this before I do the podcast, but... Hey. Now you can talk about me in the comments. So anyway, that was fun. And the setting was really nice too of the restaurant.
Yeah, it really gave me like Peru vibes. Like the hike.
Latin American vibes.
Yeah, like the hike and then the restaurant did.
Yeah, the small towns, like the farmland, and it was in this really pretty like little like courtyard area, kind of like a little courtyard where it's like lots of reds and yellows and pinks rather than just like the white.
Pretty lights, kind of like that, also like brown, kind of like brick color around you. Yeah. So that was really beautiful. I love that place. And the town was stunning, so charming. Just to like walk around and take pictures and take it all in. And the people, so nice.
Yeah. No, I really loved Chalkio.
Yeah, me too.
But there's one thing we haven't done yet, and it was actually like the most iconic thing to do in Naxos.
Sunset?
Sunset at the Portara, which is what?
The little...
Yeah.
Apollo.
For you audio listeners, you
gate.
Say no more. Yeah, it was like a gate. Yeah, it was a gate for the unfinished temple built for, they say, Apollo. Some people say Hephaestus, which is like the god of smithing, but this is for Apollo, who is like the god of the sun. So it kind of is appropriate to see a sunset through the temple for the god of the sun.
That makes so much sense because as the sun was setting. Everyone and their mother was like right in front from like an angle trying to get that perfect photo of like the sun going down through the gate.
Yeah. It just essentially looks like a big brick door frame.
Yeah.
But it's really beautiful and it's like a cool mixture. I love history and historical sites, but I especially love it when it's mixed in with history. Or not history, with nature. With nature. Yeah, God, man.
I love history and when it's mixed with history.
Yeah. So that's when it like is an ultimate like chef's kiss because it's a culture and natural beauty mixed together. So it was really nice. It was a really nice sunset again, though it wasn't like a mind-blowing sunset as far as like color. But it was a really cool setting.
No,
Great
the setting
views.
was really cool. I feel because it was also really open.
Yeah.
So if you like go past the little gate thingy, you're like on a hill, and then you can. It kind of reminded me of like the cliffs in San Diego.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Sunset Cliffs.
True.
And you can like go down a little bit, and there's people there with like wine, and there's snacks, and the only thing is like it's definitely windier there, so dress warmer.
Definitely.
But it's a good vibe. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a good vibe, but I forgot to really touch on that. There's like a little pier that extends from the actual Kora of Naxos. So you have to walk through there and then walk up these steps on the little hill that she was talking about. And the really cool thing about that too is you feel like you're on a little island separated from Naxos. So you turn around and you see the actual Kora town, which is beautiful, which is built on this hill where you have all those white buildings again, kind of like looks like they're tumbling down the hill, and you have the Venetian castle at the top of all that.
Oh, they
so
have
that's a really pretty sight too.
That statue.
Oh yeah, the statue of...
What?
Who is it?
I don't know.
The goddess of love, Aphrodite.
Okay.
And you can see a topless lady if you're into that sort of thing, if you're a pervert. So, but no, it's a cool historical site again.
And there's a performer, which I'm assuming like when it's the busier season, there's more performers.
Yeah.
But there's just the one kid.
Yeah, he was playing a really good rendition of "Good for You, You Seem Happy in Hell."
Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo. Don't
Unless you
want
want to sing more.
No, I'm good. So that was a really great end to the day. And then, yeah, I think that pretty much ended our time in Naxos.
Yeah.
So the next morning, we checked out of our beautiful Airbnb that we were sad to leave. It had a hot tub, but we didn't.
It's a cold tub.
We really want to use the hot tub. That's one of the reasons why we booked it, actually. But it took forever to heat up.
Yeah.
And it was like, they didn't leave it on. So we were out there for like an hour waiting. This little stray cat came by and
he peed on
the side of the hot tub. He was really cute and friendly, but he wanted to mark his territory. But,
yeah.
So that didn't work out. And it also had like a little kitchenette, which was good to save money and actually like cook some food.
Oh,
which we
yeah.
did.
Noah made this like...
I got a vegan pesto.
Vegan pesto, and it was really good.
It was okay.
I thought it was really good.
I could have done better, but it was fine.
He's hard on himself with his cooking.
Well, also Greek food I was really enjoying.
Yeah.
So.
But I really enjoyed it.
So anyway, we had to check out, and then there's this place we came across the previous day, this really beautiful, it's like a massive cafe, and they have like a little, I don't know, ice cream place too for it, called Hug Me. And it has that really cool like boho chic aesthetic as well, where it has lots of, it's just like, what is this? Don't wait for me to buy time for her. Anyway, you know what place. This is where we got the big platter.
Yes.
Okay.
So the freaking platter is huge. Noah was like, "Do you think this would be enough for 2 people?"
And she
was really hesitant. Like she was like,
I was ready to throw up after eating all of it.
It was so much freaking food. Like
so much.
I was like, "Can we take this to go?" Like I was looking up like if it's appropriate to ask to take food to go in Greece because there's so much there, and I knew that if we like finished it, one of us was gonna get sick. Yeah.
So the deal was. First of all, yes, a really beautiful aesthetic, really comfortable places to sit and eat in this cool part of the Kora. But the platter, it came with a bunch of stuff. It came with tofu scramble, which is really nice. And it's pretty wet, to be honest, but it had like, I think it was like in a tomato sauce. So it's like, not like Italian tomato sauce, but like a tomato kind of like broth kind of thing. It tasted like. So I thought it was full of flavor. Yeah. Really good.
It was full of flavor.
But
there's so much bread.
Yeah, they had like 3 bread. They had just a side of normal bread, which a lot of places in Greece do.
They had
French toast, which is
they
just like bread with
avocado
syrup.
Toast.
It was like avocado toast bruschetta. There's a name for it in Greek for the kind of dish, which I'll put in the show notes. So that was really good too, and I think that's it.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4
were bread.
Was bread.
And then it came with either coffee or orange juice, which realistically, since it's a platter for 2 people, it should come with 2 drinks. Unless that's supposed to be a platter for 1.
I think it's for 1.
For 1 fat fuck. So, for 1 American that did a lot of hiking, I guess.
Oh,
and the whole thing was 25 euros, which is actually a really good deal for all that food. And then you just get like another coffee. And then you're looking at like less than 30 euros for a big breakfast and 2 coffees, which isn't that bad for island prices, relatively. So that was really fun. That was really great. And then I wanted to get more caffeine because I was a little tired and a little constipated, guys, not gonna lie. So, just gotta be real with you guys. Sometimes the food,
When did you get more caffeine?
I got a Greek coffee. We went to that. It was a really pretty beach cafe too, right by Agios, Gorgios, where we were staying.
So before that, actually, I had to leave the restaurant early because
Check out, yeah.
we realized that we took way too long, and by the time we were done eating, it was 10:45, and we had to check out at 11. And I was like, oh crap! I thought it was 12. So don't use Apple Maps in Greece because I was like, yeah, this is a new way to get back, and it took me a whole different freaking part of the island. Yeah. Noah beat me there, even though I left 10 minutes before he did.
Yeah, because I left to pay the bill and everything so that we could check out on time, which
it was
kind of did.
Yeah, everything was okay. It was fine, but just to share with you guys, don't
use Google Maps when traveling abroad, everybody. That's kind of a given.
Yeah,
but
I know. I just don't like Google Maps.
Yeah, she has a poster of Steve Jobs in her bedroom, so she's very. No, she doesn't.
Whatever. You have an iPhone too.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not, obsessed with it.
He likes Google Maps because he had an Android.
I also just like Google. But anyway, this isn't the Google versus Apple debate. So yeah, I got a nice little Greek coffee, and I talked about this in the last episode. Greek coffee, guys. Grace, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, I'm kidding.
So because you were like, last time I got a single, maybe if I get a double, it will be
bigger
and more flavorful or whatever.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I got a double, but it was just
more water.
Yeah.
And to be honest, again, if you don't know Greek coffee, they leave the coffee grounds in it, so you don't want to ever finish your glass because you'll be swallowing coffee grounds. So you have to drink the perfect amount of water and leave a little bit more coffee in the thing. Which I prefer espresso because I have it separated. I'm joking, guys. Greek coffee is great. I like Greek coffee. I just don't see the need to leave the grounds. And anyway, I'm really crapping on Greeks. I love Greece. Everybody, it was a great time. So we did that, and then we had to get going because that was the end of our time in Naxos. Unfortunately, we had to take the ferry to the next island.
Naxos, Eos.
Yeah, Eos, that's right. Eos, which, if you don't know, Eos is famous for being one of the more party islands.
Yeah.
Not as crazy and luxurious as Mykonos, which everybody knows. Mykonos is kind of the bougie, expensive beach club. You have to pay a lot of money to even get into the place. Ritzy hotels. That's Mykonos. Eos is a little bit more relaxed. A lot of places to get a beer, get a drink, some clubs, beach bars. But also I feel like backpackers and budget travelers can really have a good time there.
Yeah. I think that it would feel more of the Mykonos vibe if we went in the
high season.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I think when you say Mykonos vibe, I think it would have been more of a party vibe. But I don't think it would have been
I think Mykonos is known for partying.
But Mykonos, it's known for partying, but it's also expensive.
Luxury.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, first impressions of Eos.
Okay, so the port town here is definitely a lot more chill.
Very chill.
Which is where we ended up staying.
I felt like there's more locals in the port town, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Very small too.
So yeah, it was very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was my first.
It was very flat because actual Kora or town is up on the hill, and that's one thing about Eos I didn't expect was it was very hilly and mountainy right outside of the port town. Yeah. So you can walk to Kora if you want to from the port town, but it's going to be hike pretty much. You're going to walk up these steep hills, 17 minutes, which is doable. We definitely could have, but we wanted to do some more things, so of course we rented a car. And we were when Vanessa was talking about you want to reserve a car online beforehand. Yeah. Because there was no options. Yeah. Except for one place.
So there was 5 different options?
5.
And we're like, okay, let's try all 4 of these before we go to this last place. Let's avoid this last place at all costs. Uh-huh. And every single other place was fully booked. And we were like, crap. Yep. We have to go. So we went to, what was the name of that? Jacob's?
Yeah, Jacob's Rent-A-Car. Good memory. I didn't remember that.
Nothing good happens with the Jacob.
And the reviews...
Just kidding.
That's definitely an inside joke. Mr...
Shut up!
Okay. Definitely not going to watch this. But, yeah, because the reviews were not good online.
They were really bad.
Less than 3 stars.
Yeah, and one of the reviews was the guy tried overcharging us and we refused to pay and he choked out my friend. And it showed photos of him the marks and from his necklace and I was just no, we are not going here.
But there's a place right next door on the map, which is a new place. Yeah. And that place didn't have great reviews either, but we'll go there.
But we're They're not great, but it's a little better. No one choked anyone.
Spoiler alert, it's the same place.
It's the same place. And I even asked the guy, too. I was like, hey, like, he was obviously wearing, like, the Jacob's uniform or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, is this for the other place, this door? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, like, this is not the Jacob's place, right? And he's like, oh, no, this, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know the name. Avis? Not Avis.
It was some other name. It's, who knows? Well,
but it was the same place.
So we're like, all right, I guess. I don't know. And during the whole time, I had this very uneasy feeling.
Yes.
Where I'm like, sometimes you have like your intuition act up and you're like, I don't think I should do this. But this was one of the times where I didn't listen to my intuition. And luckily it actually paid off because we were very careful. We were like, as the review said, like be very, like some people were saying, oh, he said there's a bunch of like scrapes that we made that weren't there before. So we took videos and pictures of every square inch of the car.
And I made sure he saw me too.
Make sure he saw us. We made sure to bring the car in ahead of time so we didn't try to like BS us about like renting the car for longer than he said.
Yeah.
We were very careful about like parking so that no one would ever, just very extra careful for like all these reasons possible. Because there's some people saying they had a good experience too.
Yeah.
But still.
But the bad ones were
very bad, like 1 stars. And that's why the average was so low. So we rented a car. It was about 45 euros for the day.
Yeah.
Which was fine. And then, we took the car up to Kora, which was really pretty. It's very hilly, the actual town itself. And this one was the most confusing town ever. Because we were trying to find the restaurant, and we had a really hard time finding it.
Yeah, we were like, it was just like wasn't tracking us correctly. Because they're just so close, all the roads.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh yeah, it should be right here. And then we're like, oh, never mind, we have to go back. It's actually the next street.
Yeah.
But
we eventually found it. Our way to the restaurant, which we want to eat at, called The Nest. I remember that because it was probably my favorite meal. One of my favorite meals, definitely, we had in our time in Greece, in general. Yeah. And do you remember what we ordered?
We got...
Well, there's one that we always get.
Yeah. The...
Dolma, grape leaves.
Yes.
Those are really good.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And then we got that... what is it freaking called?
Which one?
The beans? The big beans?
Yeah, Giant's beans are called Gigantes Flaki. Which is, Giant's beans. Oh. Which is the beans and the red sauce. We talked about this before that we had actually in Milos, which is really good. This one, did you like more than Milos? Remember the one in Milos was a little bit more...
I think I like the one in Milos more.
I like the one in Milos more, I think.
Yeah.
I still like this one a lot, though.
Yeah.
It was really good.
We got some bread, which is my favorite.
The bread was really nice. And we had a new dish, which was on my list to try, which we only had this one time, but it's probably one of my favorite things we had, too. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Was it the artichoke thing?
No, it was the stuffed tomato.
Stuffed tomato.
It had the rice inside, and the tomato was like baked, and it was like super soft, like falling apart. And the rice is like seasoned. It's called hemista, in case you don't know, which is like stuffed tomatoes or stuffed peppers, and it was so freaking delicious.
I don't even like tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I was in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I'll have like majority of this. No, I'll have majority of that. Blah blah blah. But when I tried it, I was like, no, we're splitting this evenly.
So yeah, all these 3 dishes were absolutely delicious, and the price wasn't that bad either.
No, and it was like a nice like setting.
Yeah, nice.
Felt class.
Felt a little bit classier. I'm like, oh man, we have to spend.
Until.
What? The waiter?
Noah told me actually when we returned back from our trip.
Because Vanessa's really big on hygiene, and this could kill the experience for her. So I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to ruin this magical meal until after.
So now I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
Noah said that our waiter went to the bathroom. And that when he came out, because the sink was not attached, he did not wash his hands.
Well, which was weird, because he's still, like, wringing out his hands. And there's, like, yellow liquid.
Stop!
No, I'm kidding. No, but he definitely... Maybe it's just going in there to have a cigarette or something. You never know. It didn't smell like...
In the bathroom?
Probably not. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. So, yeah. I went to use the bathroom. Someone was in there. Knocked on the door. He came out. Didn't wash his hands. And I'm like... man. Hopefully he didn't, like... plate the dish himself. Because
I doubt it. I think he probably just touched the plate to bring it to us.
Yeah. So anyway.
Still, I don't like that.
So sorry, but if you're watching, everybody, The Nest, I still 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's really delicious. That didn't ruin it all for me. And Vanessa said, I knew something tasted different about this.
No,
I'm kidding. Okay.
But there was another waitress there.
Salty.
She wasn't even our waitress, but she like grabbed our food and she's like, "How was everything?" And I was like, "It was really good."
Yeah.
And then she she seemed so happy. That we enjoyed the food.
And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, the food here is really good.
Yeah, like she even agreed. Like, it's just like, the food's so good here.
I'm getting really hungry thinking about this.
I know,
I just came back from the gym. So. But anyway, that was our dinner. But we had more plans to experience for our first and only night in Eos, because we were only spent one night here. And there was this iconic sunset spot, which I actually saw by watching this girl's YouTube video. I'm not going to give you free publicity until you collab with me.
Oh my God.
But her name's Mana Gafori, and she went to this really pretty place called the Odysseus, I think it's Elitis Amphitheater. And this is just a really great sunset spot for a few reasons. One, I think it had an amazing view of Kora. Like, it's really close by, which is the town we were just exploring. And like I said, it's really hilly, so it has those white buildings like tumbling down the cliff. Mm-hmm. And it has this beautiful church, which would also be a really good sunset spot. Yeah. Overlooking the like very top of the Kora. But I loved having that like in the sunset view, having Kora. And of course, what else could you see?
The amphitheater.
Yeah, the amphitheater, which of course, which is really pretty, like old. I don't know how old it is, or if it's like a newer thing that they still use for like summer events. But just it's a cool like Greek style amphitheater.
Yeah.
You which is a historic thing.
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
Only a few people.
And then you could see the water. You could see the nearby mountains, and like it's just a really beautiful sunset spot.
Yeah, it was really pretty. It was very peaceful, I thought.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite sunset view out of like all the places we visited in Greece.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
But
and very chill.
And it wasn't that cold, which was really cool
because
all of our other sunsets before then were freezing. At least I was. And like shivering, and the wind was crazy, but this one was really calm.
So anyway, it wasn't that cold of a sunset. And then we made our way back down to our car, and then drove back to our hotel. We didn't really mention it because the lady was really nice. I felt bad though; she was like a little bit frail, and our host at our hotel that we checked into. We never talked about our hotel.
Oh, I know.
And then there were some problems with the AC.
It wasn't working.
It wasn't working. I think the remotes were mixed up, and she had these very like. Seemed like an old person that had no idea like how technology works, like ideas and solutions, and like she had to come up the stairs to like check on it because it wasn't working, and I felt really bad, but it worked out. She actually moved us to a room that had working AC, which was really nice of her, and so that was really cool. But fast forward to the next day, we got breakfast in the port at this place where there were like some British people running it, which is kind of funny, and
the coffee was good.
Coffee was good and sweet. The breakfast was a little overpriced. It was fine.
I mean, you're in the port, so I mean, that's what you would expect. Yeah,
nothing to reminisce about, but that was just to get us fuel before, because we wanted to spend the whole next day at the beaches, because Eos also has really nice beaches and beach bars and clubs, and we just wanted to go to one and relax. Obviously, I couldn't drink alcohol, but I was actually really surprised by how beautiful the beach was.
Yeah.
That we went to. It was gorgeous.
It was.
Gorgeous. Good for
I almost got in.
Should have.
So close. But I wasn't quite hot enough.
Yeah, and because this was June 1st. This is actually the first day that they were opened. Because June is like when they officially opened for summer. So it was very dead.
It was. So we like walked in and
this place called Free Beach Bar. Yeah. The place,
And the guy seemed like super happy to see us, but I was so confused on what he was like trying to say, because he was like, "Oh, we're closed, but you guys can stay here and you guys can take a seat and we'll give you a drink for free."
Yeah. And I'm like, what's the catch?
Yeah.
What is this? What is he really trying to do?
So I thought he was trying to say like, "Oh, we'll give you a free drink until like the place opens, and
just
then
to
you
kind of
guys
keep us there."
Yeah, but I don't know. I was really confused, and we're like, "Can we go to the beach beds?" And he was like,
"Yeah, you can go anywhere."
Yeah,
and then a worker came and said, "You guys can't go here. You got to pay. You got to get a drink."
Yeah.
I'm like,
so then we're like, "What?" And then
I think the owner was just trying to be really nice and then make us feel welcome.
I know, but we ended up spending a really long time there
and didn't spend a lot of money.
No,
we got one drink each.
Yeah.
But that
besides like the free drink.
But the drinks were really good. He gave us like an aperitivo.
Yeah.
Which was really tasty.
Which Noah was like, "Can I drink this? Is there alcohol? Let us know." Because I looked it up and he said some of them have it, some of them don't. But when we asked the guy, he was like, "You're good."
But it didn't give us a buzz though, so that's a good thing.
I think the percentage is so small that it wouldn't.
Okay, well if it's so small, it wouldn't. Probably doesn't really affect the antibiotic that much.
Well,
you know?
I don't know.
So anyway, and then we really wanted to go to these beautiful beach beds right by the water, because the actual beach club's across the street. It has like a kind of like a party vibe, pretty loud music, a little too loud, and like these really interesting like seating areas by the pool and these games you can play, and like a bar. We just wanted to relax by the beach and just like really take in the vibes and have some nice drinks to sip on. We brought some snacks with us, which we kind of kept hush-hush to eat.
Just like chips.
Yeah, they're good though. So yeah, we hung out there for like the whole day. Really nice, really beautiful. And then it was time to leave Eos. So we returned our rental car, no problems there. And we caught a nighttime ferry. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, guys, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we left, we stopped because we had a little bit of extra time. We stopped at the Cora because we got one drink for the whole time in the free beach bar. And I'm like, I feel bad sitting here with one drink for like 4 hours.
Yeah. Also, a side note, really fast.
Yeah.
So because I had that drink and then our drink, and I just kept going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that there's a boys' and a girls' bathroom, and I felt so stupid because I just saw one bathroom, and the whole time I was using the boys' bathroom, and it was dirty.
Yeah, but luckily there was not many boys there, so uncomfortable experiences.
I know, because I was thinking, like, I walked in, I saw urinals, and I was like, so if a guy is going to the bathroom, am I just gonna see him? And I was like, okay. I feel so stupid. I probably shouldn't have shared that.
That's okay. Vanessa's just No, I'm not going to go there. I was going to make an inappropriate joke. But anyway, family podcast, everybody. Family podcast. So yeah, we went to the Cora again with a really beautiful, pretty town. And then we wanted to actually check out that church that we saw from the sunset just to get a really cool view. And it was really beautiful. So we walked up to the town, checked that out. The view, of course, was stunning. It was like towards like 5 p.m. So it was not like peak sun time, but it had that kind of like little yellow gold glow in the air slightly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That kind of, not twilight, but evening hours. Then we returned the car, and then this time we had to take a nighttime ferry, or evening ferry, one of our first ones, to Santorini, where we actually started our trip because this was going to be the end place for our big loop that we made. Because this was our 5th island, Eos, going to end our time at Santorini, do a few things we didn't do already, and just kind of like, it was going to be a cool feeling to like start a trip in Santorini and go back and kind of like reflect on everything, Mm-hmm. But how was the ferry experience going from Eos to Santorini?
So whenever like a boat pulls up, they always do like a little bell thingy.
Yeah.
You can like see it because it's freaking huge. And there are people like waiting around, and we're like, okay, we're supposed to be boarding right now. We saw this little tiny boat, and we're like, that's not it. Like, it's way too small. Like, that's somebody's freaking yacht or something.
Some fishing boat.
Yeah. So then we overheard like a group of people being like, oh yeah, that's our boat. Like, let's go. And we're like,
was it a clock? I'm like, yeah, it's that time.
Yeah. So then we like walk over. That was our boat to Santorini.
It was.
And like,
yeah.
You like get on it and it's like wobbling, and then there's like no airflow like on the underneath.
Yeah, it's really stale.
Yeah, so we're like, crap.
And all the things were taken. So we had to sit on top of the deck.
I know, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna vomit.
It was also really cold and windy.
Yes.
So we were freezing. Some people were wearing just tank tops, and I'm like, they're probably freezing cold.
I had on my my like linen button up, my cardigan, and then I grabbed my beach towel.
Yeah, and we just watched the movie.
And I was still cold.
Luckily, the ferry isn't very long. It's like an hour and a half, I think, or just
less, but yeah,
maybe about an hour from Eos to Santorini. So we just watched Bird Box, a good chunk of it, and yeah, that was.
What was nice though is that you could watch the sunset.
Yeah, you could watch the sunset a little bit.
Went to Santorini.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So you eventually arrived in Santorini after listening to a large group of like Irish lads having a good time. I'm sure they were there to like party and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had original plans to take the bus from the port, because Santorini port, it's not a port town. It's literally just a port at the bottom, because Santorini is a bunch of cliffs, and all the towns are built like on top of these cliffs. So the actual port is just built all isolated down by itself at the bottom of the cliff. And you have to like take a car or a bus if you're lucky enough, which of course we were not lucky enough this time. Spoiler alert, the bus stopped running in like mid-afternoon, and we arrived at like 6 or 7.
It was
8.
like 8.
Yeah, 8 or 9 I think actually.
Between them.
Because it was dark by the time we left.
Yeah.
So we had to get a private transfer.
Yeah.
Or shuttle.
What made me feel better is that like there's a group of people that were also like, oh yeah, we're waiting on the bus, and then
other Americans.
Yeah. And then we asked like some random driver for a shuttle, and he was like, "Oh,
the bus, yeah."
Yeah, mm-hmm. He was like, "Are they still running right now?" And I'm like,
"Uh-oh."
I don't know. You tell me. And he's like, "You could try calling, but I don't think so." So we ended up sharing. Like a van.
It was like an Uber XL, kind of.
Yeah.
Where they're just dropping everyone off to their hotels.
Yeah.
I think it was 15 euros a person.
Yes.
So it's a
15
little.
euros a person.
It's not going to break the bank, but a bus is like €2 a person. So it's definitely a lot more.
Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
So we did that, and we got dropped off to our hotel, which we were staying in this area just a little bit away from Fira, which is like the main town. 15-minute walking. 15 to 20 minutes away walking.
Yeah.
So we got checked in. We're going to spend 2 nights there. And the next day was actually my birthday.
Yeah.
And what do you guys know?
It rained.
All day.
The
only
whole
day where it did. It rained all day.
Yeah. And like all the things that we originally wanted to do.
We had to push back a day.
Yeah, because it had to be nice weather. So.
Which is fine, because we actually don't even really need to talk about that day. Like, I'd spent a lot of time catching up with work. We watched the rest of Bird Box, Vanessa and I. We went into town, and actually we got a really nice lunch at Veganissimo, which you watched the last episode. We got a really big lunch there, or dinner there. And I wanted to get a few things on the item, or, dang, I can't freaking talk. A few other things on the menu, which I didn't get the first time. So we got this time, we got some coffees, which is really nice. And we showed up before they were even open, and like, it's kind of dark, and we still but the door was open, so we popped in there, and like, oh yeah, we can make you some stuff.
No, I literally, like, when I walked in there, I was like, oh, what time do you guys open? Like, just like seeing if it was going to be soon. And they're like, oh, come in. And they're like, we have this ready, we have this. And I was like,
I'm like, I want to order off the menu, sorry.
Yeah, and all the lights were off, and we're just kind of like, and they're like, come take a seat. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, it would have been fine if we would have said, hey, we're closed until like 12 or whatever.
Yeah, we would have waited.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we got a combination of stuff, including a Greek salad, which of course is like a iconic Greek dish that Vanessa didn't really like that much. It was full of onion and tomatoes,
yes,
and a massive block of feta cheese that was vegan.
Which I don't like tomatoes or feta cheese.
And olive oil. Well, you like olive oil, but that was there. And raw onions. You don't mind them.
I don't, yeah.
They kind of kill your breath.
But the tomato and the cheese, I was just kind of like...
I liked it. I think it was just a little too much. I think if it was a smaller salad, it was
huge.
Good. Yeah, it was very big, which was good because it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then I think did we get Moussaka again? I think so.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, because that's like a really big dish. And then...
We got coffee.
Cooked some cappuccinos.
Which it didn't say on the menu that they had vegan coffee, but they did. Or, I'm sorry, milk. Mm-hmm. But they did.
And then we got tomato fritters, which we had before in Milos, but these ones weren't quite as good.
They were like not...
They were a little
fully fried on the inside.
You ever have something, I'm talking to you listeners, when the batter is like a little bit undercooked, and it's fine, but you're like, it just feels a little too like battery. Not
like a pancake where it doesn't get cooked all the way through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of how it was. Yeah. The flavor was good. It just, whereas in Milos, they overcooked it, but it was great because it was like charred and it had, I feel like it was like cooked like a charcoal grill and had that like nice burnt, but like burnt in like a good way kind of taste.
Yeah.
So I love that. So like pizza dough when it has a little black on it. That's like really nice, you know? Okay. I just really want to get you guys feeling the vibe of how good those other tomato fritters were in Milos. So that was good. It was a good way to start the day. And then the real climax of the day, besides just hanging out and just feeling special on my birthday, was going to this fine dining place, actually in Fira, called Five Senses. And Vanessa, you booked it, so tell me a little bit about it.
I did. Well, you have to make a reservation. Mm-hmm. It was I was kind of like, oh, this is weird because you have to put a deposit down to make the reservation. And
how much was the deposit?
It was $25 per person if it was indoor, and $30 per person if it was balcony. Yeah,
which was raining.
So we had to do indoor. Yeah. So I was kind of like, that's intimidating, but it was worth it. It was so good.
Yeah.
And
do you remember what we ordered?
So Noah got, it was like those little pasta thingies.
Slow down, bring it back. What? We had multiple courses. Let's start the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They brought that little thing to the table.
First thing, water.
Okay. All right, you know it. Speed things up a little more than that. Jeez.
Okay. So we got croquets.
Even before that, we got something
Before
else.
That.
Gosh. Amateur hour over here. Amateur hour.
They brought us something.
They brought on this little, it was like an upside down little cup, and they had these tiny little rice crackers that they had like two little sauces to dip it in. It was really tiny, and one was like a white sauce, one was like a red sauce. Vanessa, you have to look at the videos later.
Oh yeah, I do not remember that at all.
It was these tiny little rice crackers, and they looked like kind of like webbed. It was like the design. There was like a little bunch of little holes in them. I'll show you.
Webbed holes.
Anyway, it was really nice. But yeah, but those are just complimentary. We actually ordered croquettes, which were delicious.
Those are so good.
There was like pumpkin potato croquettes or something. I don't really taste the pumpkin.
Or a tomato. Oh, potato.
Potato, yeah. But they were really good. If you don't know, croquette, it's like essentially like a fried mashed potato. That's like the best way to describe it.
But then they had like this dipping sauce like underneath it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's such a great way to start a meal.
And it was like an appetizer, and I was like, this is actually decently sized.
Yep. And then we ordered bread, which was like €4 total. And I'm not even kidding you. They gave you like the tiniest like little
it was like
roll.
a little bun.
Yeah, a little bowl around. Yeah, little
and
bowl.
they only brought us 2, so we're like,
oh, that's cool.
so I was kind of like, oh, should we have ordered more?
And that's one thing we did see online was people were complaining that the portions aren't the
sizes.
biggest. But that's why we ordered a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And then,
including the entrees.
Yeah.
What did you order?
Yeah, what did you order?
Okay, what I ordered was the mushroom orzo, and it was
orzo. That was
divine. And an orzo, if you guys aren't familiar, it's essentially like pasta, but it's it's in a rice shape. You could kind of call it an impasta.
Oh my god!
Because it's like right.
It's
I thought that's why I was laughing. I was saying it.
Oh my god!
I'm just a brilliant joke writer, guys. Things come to me. No, but yeah, it was pasta impersonating as rice, essentially. Because it's yeah. Anyway, you guys get the picture. And it was served with like mushrooms, but it had this like really delicious sort of like gravy, like soaked into the orzo, and it was topped with like pepper and some like shaved vegan Parmesan cheese. So it's really rich. The cheese had like the nice like sort of like sharp Parmesan taste, making it nice and rich. But it was divine. I loved it. My favorite meal I had. That's why I was saying with the nest earlier in Eos is one of the best meals because I think this is just I love things that are really rich and flavorful. So that was really good. What'd you get, Vanessa?
What did I get?
You got the purple roll, which is kind of an interesting sort of thing because it was a bunch of like vegetables combined in this sort of like I wouldn't say baked, but it's really hard to describe. It was very unusual. Yeah. And it had this kind of like cream cheese sort of like sauce next to it, which you dip it in.
But what I didn't realize was that there were mushrooms in it.
There's mushrooms in it.
So I was kind of like,
you're not a huge mushroom person.
Because I don't like mushroom.
Yeah.
So I actually prefer Noah's meal over mine.
Yeah, but mine had a lot of mushroom in it too. Mushroom orzo. But
I think yours was harder to pick out.
Easier to pick out. Yeah.
Yeah, easier. Right?
Yeah.
I remember Noah's meal. I don't fully remember mine. Because I also had like, I think that there was feta cheese in it.
Yeah, that's feta.
And I didn't realize that either.
That's the sauce I was talking about, the cream cheese sauce. Feta cheese is more of an example.
I don't.
It tastes like goat cheese a lot, where it's like tangy.
Yeah.
And you're not a huge fan of that as much. Which I like. I like it a lot. I like the tangy cheeses. Greeks, there you go. Your coffee. But your cheese is good. I'm kidding.
I actually prefer Greek coffee.
Because you like it sweet. Greeks like
sweet
make it very coffees sweet. And desserts. Speaking of sweets and desserts, what a perfect segue. How did we end our meal?
Oh, it was like their version of a Ravani.
Yeah, where they added like a little bit of fruit and like this kind of like cream on top.
It was so
like a whipped thick cream.
Good.
And they put a little candle in because for my birthday.
Yeah, because I like stopped them and I was like, is there any way that you guys can like add this to it? And then I was like, and then do you guys have candles? And they're like, oh yeah, of course. And so they like brought it over when it was lit up.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
And it tasted phenomenal.
It was so good.
I love Ravani. I love it.
That was like
your favorite one?
By far.
Yeah, favorite. Yeah, I like the other one in Milos a lot too. Not to harp on that because we talked about that a lot in the previous episode.
That one was good, but this one was.
Well, yeah, they just.
I was like, dang.
They dialed it up a little bit. The fruit was a really good addition because Ravani, it's really tasty, but it's really simple. It's like if you don't know, it's like a yellow sort of like spongy cake sort of thing, and it's like really moist because they soak it with simple syrup, but it doesn't have like a super strong flavor. You know what I mean? It's just sweet and cakey, which I like, but. So yeah, those are nice little additions, little colors to the canvas, if you will. Yeah. So anyway, I said we weren't going to talk about that day that much, but we probably spent like 15 minutes just talking about food.
It was just really such a good restaurant, and it was nice to experience it.
Definitely.
But other than that, though, no one really did have like a terrible birthday.
No. You say terrible, but I
felt so bad.
But don't worry about it because your birthday is never going to feel that of a special day when you're traveling for a long period of time because every day is a special day when you're traveling. Yeah. Every day you're going out to eat multiple times. Every day you're having an adventure or a really pretty view. So if anything, it made it stand out more because it was really rainy and crappy outside. So I'll remember my birthday definitely for this reason. And honestly, this was towards the end of our trip where it was very go. So it was really nice to have a guilt-free day to relax and not do a whole lot. Yeah. Or if it was sunny, I'd have wanted to go out and seize the day.
Yeah.
But didn't really
I think at this point I was feeling like
burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
was
is day 10.
Yeah, because every day you just wake up and you're like, all right, let's get ready and let's go. So this day we're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, just left.
We are not doing crap.
Yeah, got some souvenirs too, which was cool, but we were originally planning on doing something else, which is very ambitious and a little bit of a controversial thing, which will end pretty much our discussion, because this is going to begin day 11, and took up the bulk of the day, which is the iconic hike/walk from the town of Ferry to the picturesque, popular town of Ia.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure the time. I'm going to cut that out.
Yeah.
So, to start the day, luckily the sun was shining, so we were going to be blessed with some good weather, and we got up pretty early because we knew we wanted to have more than enough time to do the hike, because it's a 7-mile hike, relatively. But yeah.
Oh, and we had to check out too.
We had to check out, So we checked out.
But they let us keep our stuff there, which was nice.
Yeah, kept our stuff at the hotel, and then we went to the market to get a few things.
Yeah, let's get some snacks.
Yeah, we got some snacks. We got some croissants, which were really nice.
Oh my gosh, we got a breakfast there,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like here with my credit card, like thinking like, oh yeah, this will be a cheap breakfast. It's gonna be like $10 or whatever. The lady told me my total, and it was like $1.80 or €1.80, and I was like, huh? And then I like gave her cash, and she's like, it's very cheap, isn't it? And I was like, that was insane.
Yeah, because at one croissant, fill of jam is like 50 cents or less than 50 cents.
And then like the juices were like 30 cents.
Yeah.
Or 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, so that was a good deal. And we could we could eat on the go.
Yeah.
We didn't want to drink coffee because we didn't want to have an unexpected bathroom emergency in the middle of nowhere.
Not in the middle of nowhere.
Well, there wasn't a lot of
some
things.
areas.
Some areas, yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the hike.
Okay.
So we started from Ferry.
We started from our freaking hotel.
Yeah. Which
was 20 minutes from Ferry.
So realistically, we added a mile. So we probably hiked about 8 miles. Yeah. Realistically.
So, to be honest, my opinion is that.
Well, let's get to that later. Come on, guys.
Okay, you go ahead then.
Nah, she always wants to jump the gun. Yeah, so we started, walked to Ferry, and you just go through the town essentially. You go up like following. It's a little unclear. There's some signs that mark the walk to Ia, which of course Ia is that famous like Instagrammable town with the windmills, the really bougie sort of hotels. It's really famous for the sunset. So that's the end point. So you go from Ferry, and then you essentially leave the town, and then continue along the coast, which we took the wrong way, unfortunately, which is fine. It all links back up with the main next town, which is called, oh man, I forget. So
basically, it's like a mini Ia because it's very like all the buildings are white. There's lots of businesses, walking paths. What?
Oh, man. Because we're talking about the same town, but there's another one before that. Firo Stefani, I think it's called.
So I missed it?
No, we walked through it a little bit, but there's another one which is like a lot of hotels, which is really pretty too. The mini Ia. It's called Imerovigli, is the name of that.
That's where we cut through, right?
That's one where we were, it's like the last big built up area.
Yeah.
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 So, and that was really pretty. Had some really nice views and really nice hotels.
This is like kind of a side note.
Uh-huh.
So when we first were in Santorini, it was like the end of May, and then when we went back, it was June 1st.
Yep, so this is June 3rd this day.
The amount of people that were there was like,
compared
to when we first got there, was way more.
Yep, way more.
Which was like surprising because it was only like 10 days.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
But it was getting closer to the busy season, so makes sense. But sorry, side note.
No, you're right. So yeah, the hike was nice. The nice thing about the hike is most of the time you're essentially on like the edge of the cliff, where you get some really nice views of the Aegean Sea. You can see like the other parts of the volcano, because if you don't know, guys, Santorini, it's part of like an actual volcano that like erupted a long time ago and like was really disastrous. But now there's like a caldera, so like the ocean went into the old crater of the volcano. And Santorini is one part of that volcanic rim, where you can see other islands that make up like this disconnected sort of rim that used to be the actual volcano itself. So that's a really cool experience, a really unique site. And it makes sense when you do the hike, because a lot of the hike turns into this sort of like black volcanic sand. Yeah. Which isn't the best for walk. It's okay for walking. And there's not a lot of shade because it's a volcano, so not a lot of like trees naturally grow. Yeah. In that area. So we continued along the way for a while. It wasn't that hard of a hike. we were kind of nervous because you see this incline, and Vanessa was like getting really like worked up about it.
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay, that was dramatic.
No, but that's how you felt.
I was like, because I'm out of shape. I don't work out. So when I saw that where I was to where I needed to get to, I was like, this is not just a walk. This is an actual hike. Like, I'm hiking up a freaking side of the mountain hill. Yeah. Type of thing.
Sure.
So I was really anxious because I didn't want to be super, like,
and there wasn't a ton of shade either.
Yeah. So even just standing there, you're going to be sweating because it's freaking hot.
Yeah. But anyway, we kept along that, passed by Emerald, and besides that, you occasionally come up on like the occasional church or the occasional like hotel or resort until you eventually get a view of Ia, which is really cool.
But there are these like cave hotels.
Yeah.
You get to see how the other side lives because.
You mean the non-budget traveler?
Yeah. It was like they had a sign like no pictures of like this area because it was so like.
Yeah, it looks like a snow cave.
Yeah, it was so cool.
And there's like white, like Greek island sort of aesthetic, which is really pretty. Where it's like
we're not thinking of the same place.
What are you talking
about? It literally was like the outside of it was brown. It looked like dirt, but it like they did like little arches.
I thought it was white.
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't matter.
We don't have freaking pictures to look at it, so.
Not at the moment. Anyway, it was really cool.
It was really cool, and they had like their own little pools and like a lounge area there. It was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot to say about Santorini, which I think, like I said, we'll do a separate video kind of talking about each island, the different categories where we can like rate them, and maybe which kind of traveler we recommend that island for. Just an overall better guide of the different islands we visited. Right now we just want to go over the things we did and our thoughts on them.
So that's just you telling me to get a move on?
No. I'm just saying because I could really go on like a long tangent, but I don't want to go over things too much, keep things moving. So yeah, we did the hike. I mean, we eventually got the really nice view of Ia, then it continued on, which was really cool experience to like walk into Ia and have it get more gradually built up. But besides that, there wasn't a ton to really see along the hike, besides those views and the occasional hotel and church.
Yeah. And the water is not like, it's just like a deep blue because it's so deep. Yeah. You don't really get any areas where you can see like turquoise water.
There's some immediately next to the cliffs.
Like one.
Yeah, immediately next to the cliffs before it gets super deep. There's a little bit of light blue. But yeah, so if that's something you want to know, then definitely. Yeah. But yeah, so then we arrived in Ia, and we were starving. So, what else to eat besides Souvlaki? And I think for me, this was my favorite Souvlaki I ever had. Yeah. It was really delicious.
It was really good.
And really cheap too, which is good to know because Ia, it's really bougie. It's really like Instagram, traveler, luxurious traveler. But this place, I think it's like Souvlaki is eaten by a lot of locals. So they built it with like local prices in mind. Yeah. So I think it's like €3 to €6 for a sandwich. It was really tasty as well. I actually got another one while we were eating because we had two. And I'm like, excuse me, can I get another one, please? Because it's so good. And it was our last day in the Greek islands, so I definitely wanted to get another one too.
There was this couple that was sitting across from us, and they're like, "Can we get the fries on the side?"
And Vanessa was like,
and I was like, and then she looked at us, and she was like, "I just think it's such a weird idea to have the fries in it." And I was just like,
I'm like, nah, I love it.
And Noah was like, yeah, he was like, I love it, and she was just like laughing, and I'm like, did you even try it?
In this one, they did with like an actual like soy meat instead. So it's like kind of like the shaved lamb like look. Because that's how a lot of Souvlaki or gyro is. They use like the shaved lamb. This one they use like some sort of like shaved soy meat. And it was really tasty.
It was really good.
And then vegan tzatziki in there, where sometimes they use like a vegan mayo. So this felt like the closest to like the authentic Souvlaki from a vegan perspective. Yeah. And it was really good. Yeah. The pita was delicious. Oh, I love it.
Everything.
I'm getting so hungry. Let's wrap this up. All right, bye guys. No. And then yeah. Because we were hot, we had limited time to explore Ia, because we actually had a flight that night. We were flying out of the Greek islands that very night, and we had to go all the way back to the airport. So there was a lot of buses we had to take between Ia and the airport. So we briefly explored a little bit more of Ia, because we already visited our first time in Santorini, and we checked out the famous Blue Dome Church. Yeah. Which is cool, but every island has Blue Dome churches. And especially if you visit the other islands, you can have them like all to yourself, or you can have them like on the edge of a cliff for like a sunset. So I don't think it was like particularly amazing. It was pretty, but just another church.
Yeah, but going like looking more into like the streets and alleys, and there's like a little courtyard type of thing. Yeah, it was definitely a lot more busier.
Yeah, a lot of people taking pictures.
Yeah. So we're getting kind of nervous. Like, crap. Like, should we take a later bus or an earlier bus so that we can like get back in time to catch our flight. We decided on an earlier bus, and I'm really glad we did because the line was so long for the bus. Like it was as long as the line that we had to wait in for the first time we were in Iya,
Crazy
which
long.
was like right after sunset. So we're like, oh
Yeah,
crap.
so long. So then we get on the bus, but we have 2 orders of business to talk about that you skipped over.
I did.
One, hold on, I know you want to talk about.
Okay.
First, and this is going to be a little bit of a debate between us because we've already had this conversation a little bit, guys. Would you recommend the hike from Ferry to Iya? Yes or no?
Like flat out.
Yes or no? Yeah, flat out.
There's so many things to consider.
Okay, so maybe we do agree then.
Okay. What do you think?
I think it depends.
Okay, well.
Yeah, you talk. I've been talking a lot.
So for me, for my opinion, if you've already like explored the island, you're not gonna see anything like much more than what you already explored. And like it's such a long route of like nothing.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, all right, we're gonna get to the good stuff. You know, it's cool to see it, but for how long it is, I'm kind of like, is it worth that?
Yeah. Our main comparison was we did this amazing hike in Italy called Path of the Gods, where you end at Positano, which is kind of like Iya, where it's like a super famous destination that's like really beautiful and like influencer famous, you know. And that hike, you have like continuously gorgeous views, tons of points of interest along the way, and so anyway, that was kind of our main like comparison for that. But I really do agree with you. After all that crap, I think I would recommend it only if, and this is honestly like, if you just want to like walk and get some exercise, and you're just like afraid of missing out on something, do it. And you have the time, do it. But if you like want to see, it's just gonna be like a really amazing experience. I only recommend it if you do it like first thing when you arrive.
Yeah.
First thing when you arrive, go to your hotel, check in, get up in the morning, and be like, I want to explore the island, because that is like the best way to explore the island in that way, because you'll get great views of the caldera, great views of the cliffs. You'll get to go through Fira for the first time. You'll get to visit Iya for the first time on foot, so it feels like you're kind of like discovering it like an explorer would, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can explore each town. You can stop and get like some coffee in Fira. You can get some, which we were debating about doing. You can get like a meal in Iya, and then you can like hang out there for a little while. They have this really pretty bay called Amodi Bay, which you can walk down these stairs to and like swim and cliff jump and cool off, and then you can stay for sunset. I think that would be like the perfect day.
Yeah.
It'd be the perfect first day,
and, like,
honestly.
Make sure you have enough time, because for us we were like, oh, like I was stressing out because I was like, crap, if I take too many breaks or if I am hiking slow, like we're not gonna have enough time to explore Iya before we have to go. Yeah,
definitely. So that'd be the perfect first day, and then from there, relax or explore more of the town that you pass through where you want to see more.
Yeah.
Or visit some other areas. But yeah, I would recommend it under that pretense. But if you're like going to add it later towards your day and you've already spent times in these towns and you've already got the views, I think it's a waste of time. I don't think it's worth it. It's a waste of time and energy. It really is. It's a waste of time and energy, and it's going to you're not going to get anything new out of it, essentially.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get anything new out of it.
Yeah.
So that's that order of business wrapped up. Where did we get a refreshing cold dessert, Vanessa?
I don't know the name.
I think it's called Lolitas. Or Lolas. Lolas or Lolitas?
Something with an L. It's right by the bus station.
Yeah.
So freaking good.
Got some gelato.
Oh my gosh. We got some gelato, and they had 2 vegan flavors.
They had a bunch of vegan flavors.
Oh, okay.
All the
Noah
sorbets
decided,
were vegan.
There was like limited seating, so I sat. Noah decided on chocolate
And strawberry.
and strawberry. So freaking good. Oh my. I'm a dessert person.
Me too.
I'm very like, and I'm picky too. And I would go there 1,000 times. Like, I wish I would have tried it sooner so I could have had it multiple times. But the strawberry gelato really reminded me of like this drink that I got in Peru. It was just like a strawberry juice.
Yeah.
But it was so good.
That's what the strawberry reminded us of. But also the strawberry and chocolate.
Don't even say it.
What are you going to say?
It was like chocolate covered strawberries.
It was.
I said that as we're eating it.
It was a very astute observation, all right? So
Oh my gosh.
I have to take inspiration from another brilliant mind here. But yeah, no, it was phenomenal. And
the chocolate was so like...
it was rich.
It was better than the gelato in Italy.
I'm about to walk out of that right now. We had pistachio gelato in Italy. I thought it was phenomenal. I like the chocolate gelato in Italy a ton. But actually, a little spoiler, let's just jump into the future. We're talking a lot about food, guys, and we're almost done with this podcast. We're pretty much wrapped up, to be honest. A future episode coming very soon. I think next episode, actually, is going to be Greek food versus Italian food. We're going to have lots of hot takes, a little bit of a mini advertisement, but let's save that conversation, okay? So anyway, the gelato was amazing. Then we took the bus. Luckily, there were 2 buses that came. And it was perfect because we missed the first bus because there's too many people. Yeah. So we were very first in line for the next bus. Yeah. Not first, but the first couple dozen people. Yeah. So we were able to sit down.
Yes. Which I was very happy about because as it got busier, every time we were on the bus, we had to stand and I was...
After hiking 8 miles, that would have sucked to stand for that long.
And to be dizzy. I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole time we were dehydrated.
Yeah, so from there, we took a bus back to our hotel, picked up our bags, took another bus to the airport, and then that was a wrap. Yeah. That was our time in the Greek islands, everybody. The 10-day itinerary. Let's just do a little mini review of the islands. We visited Santorini.
Okay.
You go next. We'll go back and forth.
Milos.
Paros.
Naxos.
And Agios. That's 5.
Yeah.
5 islands, 10 days. Realistically, it was 11. But that one rainy day, you could easily combine that with the 2 days in Santorini, just eat those places we ate at, and then do the hike. And that's a day right there. So that's a perfect 10 days in the Greek islands, everybody, in Cyclades. There are other ones to visit that we didn't get a chance to visit, like Paros, Mykonos. So if you guys are interested in those, maybe do a little bit of research and see if they're for you. But I think these islands are for everybody. Everyone has something that's really interesting and unique. When we booked this trip originally, I was thinking... Is it are we doing too much by visiting too many islands? Are they going to be just kind of redundant because they're very similar? But each one did have a unique feeling. Yeah. Each one had something to offer that was different, and I'm very happy we visited everyone. Yeah. To be honest, I wish we had more time.
Yes, that we had more time.
Because we were rushing around a little bit. We did a lot, and I did try and plan some relaxing time in between these activities. Because if you look at each day, not all of them are jam packed with things, and sometimes we just hung out at the beach all day. And that was our chill day. So we're still doing something, but not running around as much.
There's also some things that we wanted to do, but we couldn't because somebody was injured. So I
couldn't swim.
Yeah.
So
there are definitely things on the islands that you can add on top of what we did.
100%. If there's anything glaringly obvious we forgot, for example, at Naxos you can hike. I forget the name of it. It's the tallest mountain, and it's actually believed where Zeus grew up. Remember the tallest mountain in Naxos? So that's a really cool thing to do. Anyway, you get the gist of it, everybody. Those were our 10 days in the Greek islands. Our actual trip wasn't ending there because we actually went back to Athens and spent a few days there to check it out before we left. So comment down below if you want to hear about Athens. I'm trying to figure out how I want to spend it. Maybe a 24 hours in Athens, things to do in Athens, first impressions, because there's lots to say about it. It was a really cool place to visit too. Mm-hmm. But the Greek islands were definitely so amazing. They deserve their own 2-episode series. And of course, check out our coming video. Going to be Greek versus Italian cuisine, everybody. Are you pumped?
I'm ready to
throw down. Italians, I got you, because no, I'm kidding. All right, so thanks for watching or listening, everybody. And make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hopefully, just gonna keep on doing this podcast series because it's a lot of fun and she's a natural. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Peace.